By this point, anyone who is interested in the NBA knows that James Harden requested a trade from the 76ers and wants out of Philly. And since the request happened right before the opening of free agency, nothing has really happened. There hasn't been any serious trade talks from what I've heard, and it kind of developed into a stalemate. But the drama and intrigue surrounding the situation has really picked up strongly over the past couple days. It started with a report that the 76ers had decided not to trade Harden, and expected him to come to training camp in September when it starts up. This was quickly followed up by a report that Harden was not interested in showing up to training camp, and likely won't be there when it begins. But that wasn't it from Harden's side. A video surfaced earlier today that looks like it came from a camp that he was running. In the video, he said, "Daryl Morey is a liar and I will never be part of an organization that he's a part of. Let me say that again, Daryl Morey is a liar and I will never be part of an organization that he's a part of again." Now that's quite the strong stance, and made it very clear that Harden has no respect for Sixers GM Daryl Morey, and he will not play for Philly as long as he's the GM. It's been a fascinating change of dynamic over the past 18 months for the two of them, as Morey and Harden became close during their time in Houston with the Rockets, and Morey desperately wanted him on his team once again, leading to the Ben Simmons for Harden trade at the 2022 trade deadline. It was not long before we got a response from Morey, and a report came out that Daryl Morey was unmoved by James Harden's comments and still plans to keep him. How on earth he thinks that is going to happen, I don't know. However, this situation didn't stay contained to the Sixers. Adrian Wojnarowksi tweeted about the situation, as you'd expect him to do, and called him disgruntled in one of his tweets. That seemed to provoke Harden's friend and former teammate Kyrie Irving, who had a response for Woj. Is he disgruntled Adrian, or is he holding Daryl Morey accountable for his dishonesty and lack of transparency throughout the contract negotiation process this summer? Kyrie's reply has almost 6 times as many likes as the original post from Woj. This situation is only continuing to get further and further out of hand, and it doesn't seem like this can be worked out peacefully with a return to Philadelphia. But although it seems cool and trendy to hate on Harden, he's not the one in the wrong. Morey and the Sixers are. The Philadelphia 76ers wronged James Harden. Now let's take a deeper look at how. Before we get into the 76ers backstabbing one of their stars once again, if you enjoy my content and watch a few videos of mine, think about subscribing. 96% of my viewers are actually not subscribed, so if you watched me before and enjoy the content, drop a sub and comment down below. It really helps the channel. Video surfaced Monday in which Harden called Sixers president of basketball operations Daryl Morey a liar, a significant escalation in his search for a new franchise. Along with reporting Philadelphia has shut down trade negotiations centered around the 2018 MVP, Woj wrote Saturday the veteran guard was unhappy with Morey over the lack of a long-term max-level contract offer. Harden's comments lent further credence to the idea that he and the 76ers had a handshake agreement when he left some money on the table and signed his 2-year, $68.6 million contract last summer. The cash he gave up then would be paid back in full down the road. If Morey did actually indicate as much, then Harden's frustration is completely understandable. Contrary to many's belief, Harden isn't some negative player, nor was last season a massive disappointment. At the time of the 2023 All-Star Game, many were shocked that he wasn't named an All-Star, and honestly, last season was kind of a resurgent year for him. He led the league in assists at 10.7 per game. He also averaged 21 points, 6 rebounds, and 1.2 steals per game. His 39% from 3 last season was his highest mark since 2012, his second season in the league. He shot the ball better last year than any season of his dominant Houston run. Is he still Rockets Harden? No. But is he still a max player? Yes, and it shouldn't even really be questionable. He hasn't faced some steep decline, and quietly was one of the best guards in the league last season. And although his playoffs were up and down, his 2 40-point games that both included buzzer beaters were the only reason they were even in the Boston series, and were better games than many NBA stars will have in their careers. The Sixers should have foreseen the trouble that would arise, and how it would look if they switched up on any previous arrangement with Harden. And if there's one player in the league you really don't want to get into an I don't give a damn war with, it's James Harden. We've seen it before, and it can get really ugly. And honestly, this is the worst situation of the three in Houston, Brooklyn, and Philly, meaning there's no telling how bad this could get. But at least in my eyes, it's not Harden's fault. The Philadelphia 76ers wronged James Harden. Thanks for watching. I'm Herm. Have a good one.